Today we're going to learn about communication, how it's used in learning, how it can assist collaboration, and as we will see shortly, how it has in fact saved the world. So, next time you question the importance of effective communication, just remember you too could have eaten the meat. So, what is communication and why does it matter? Well, there are a couple of things that we need to discuss first, and that is what is communication versus what is collaboration. As you can see, there are some key aspects to communication. The conveyance of information, one way or with two or more partners. It's point to point, and again, it can be one or many to many. The key with communication is the conveyance of information. It's that information that makes communication what it is. Collaboration takes communication and adds a little bit more to it. There, as you can see, students plan and accomplish together. There are multiple interactions may occur, and it's two or more people. So it's not just conveyance of information, as with communication, but there's an action to it as well. Specifically, that accomplishment of goals, whatever that plan is, and whatever those interactions are, how they take the communication process and really create. With you in the center of communication, you become the sender rather, and communication can happen in any number of ways. It can be physical, written, spoken, or multimedia. Right now, you are hearing my voice, so there's a part. It is part spoken. You're also reading words on the screen, so it's written. And of course, we're using a multimedia technology. So communication doesn't just have to be one of those four, and in fact, more often than not, it is it is more than one of those four. The circle that you see here deals with one way the communication process is described. Beginning here with an idea, how it is encoded by the sender, that's you, the medium by which it is sent out. Again, the written, the multimedia, spoken, whatever that medium is. The decoding process happens on the side of the receiver, whether it's one receiver or whether it's many, whether it's one-on-one with a student or with a classroom. And the feedback is then what comes back to the sender. It could be in the form of answering questions. It could be in the form of as simple as uh, uh, shaking your head or acknowledging that something was decoded and received. All that goes back to the sender. For a slightly different look, you've got the facilitator or sender, the one initiating or, in this case, facilitating the communication. And it's a two-way process, okay, going to the learner or the receiver, okay, and going back to the facilitator. This may look a little bit more like what happens in the classroom, starting with the facilitator, you, or starting with the facilitator, a student or other students. In collaboration, this open loop process becomes a lot more important. It's oftentimes continual and ideally many students in many forms of collaboration. Okay. How communication impacts learning is also important. There are any number of ways to support communication with technology and communicating through learning, but there are also obstacles to communication as well. You'll see that the column on the right is largely the antithesis of the column on the left. A safe environment. We hear that a lot in education. Your students need to feel safe to offer that feedback, okay? Or else that feedback often becomes lots of blank stares. Variety of delivery methods. Again, with you in the center, is it written? Is it spoken? Is it multimedia? Is it physical? You need an appropriate learning environment. You need assistive technology, and you need meaningful lessons. Your students need to be engaged. They need to be in a setting where they feel interested in engaging. And if that variety isn't there, then it's you again lecturing to those blank stares for hours, which is kind of what this column over on the right indicates. Environmental barriers. Is it noisy out in the hallway? Are there interruptions? Stagnant lessons. Do you, as an educator, do one thing for the entirety of a 50 or 90-minute class? Inefficient use of technology, if you're unable to use it effectively, if it's not working, and lack of accommodations for anyone needing assistance. So there are, of course, more ways to support communication in the classroom and ways communication can support learning. And of course, there are additional obstacles not listed. This concludes my brief introduction to communication and learning. I hope that you use this information to collaborate and communicate effectively and to once again save the world from imminent doom.